Are you stuck in the endless loop of learning English only to forget what you studied the next day? You listen, you read, but when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. What if I told you there's a simple, scientifically proven method to rapidly embed vocabulary and grammar so you can confidently retrieve and use it in any conversation? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock your English fluency using a technique that actually rewires your brain. All right, let me ask you something. How many hours have you spent watching English videos, listening to podcasts, reading articles? Probably hundreds of hours, right? And yet, when someone asks you a question in English, you freeze. The words you studied yesterday, last week, last month, they're just gone. Here's the truth nobody talks about. You're stuck in what I call the passive learning trap. Passive learning means you're just consuming content, watching, listening, reading. It feels like you're learning, it feels productive, but your brain isn't actually storing this information in a way you can use. Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to build muscle. You watch hundreds of videos about exercise, you read books about fitness, you understand everything about how muscles work, but you never actually go to the gym. You never lift weights. You never do the physical work. Will you build muscle? Of course not. Learning English is exactly the same. Understanding is not enough. Exposure is not enough. Your brain needs active practice to truly embed new language. The biggest mistake English learners make is believing that more input equals better output. But that's not how memory works. That's not how fluency works. You need something more powerful, something that forces your brain to work harder, something that creates real, permanent learning. This is where active recall changes everything. Active recall is simple. Instead of passively reviewing information, you actively try to retrieve it from memory. Let me show you the difference. Passive review looks like this. You read a list of vocabulary words, you see the word ambitious and its definition, you think, okay, I know this word, then you move on. Active recall looks like this. You close the book, you ask yourself, what does ambitious mean? You force your brain to search for the answer, you struggle, you think, and then you retrieve it. That struggle, that's where the magic happens. Scientists have studied this for decades. When you force your brain to retrieve information, you strengthen the neural pathways connected to that memory. Every time you successfully recall something, it becomes easier to recall it again. It's like creating a path through a forest. The first time, you have to push through bushes and branches. It's hard. But every time you walk that same path, it gets clearer. Eventually, it becomes a highway your brain can travel instantly. This is why active recall is so powerful for language learning. You're not just storing words in your brain, you're building instant access to those words. Think about native speakers. When they speak, they don't search for words, the words just come, automatically, instantly. That's because they've recalled those words thousands of times. The pathways are so strong, the retrieval is effortless. And here's the beautiful part. You can build these same pathways. You can train your brain for instant retrieval. You just need to practice the right way. Active recall transforms superficial learning into deep, permanent learning. It turns "I've seen this word before" into "I can use this word confidently right now." So how do you actually do this? How do you integrate active recall into your daily English practice? Let me give you practical strategies you can start using today. Strategy number 1, the power of questions. Instead of reading English content passively, turn everything into questions. After you read a paragraph, close the book and ask yourself, what did I just read? What were the main ideas? What new words did I learn? Force yourself to answer from memory. Don't look back at the text. Struggle to remember. That struggle is building your brain. Strategy number 2, flashcards done right. Most people use flashcards wrong. They flip a card, see the answer, and think, yeah, I knew that. That's passive. That's not active recall. Here's the right way. Look at the English word. Before you flip the card, speak the definition out loud. Make a sentence using that word. Explain the meaning as if you're teaching someone. Only then check the answer. Did you get it right? Were you close? This forces real retrieval. Strategy number 3, spaced repetition. Here's a powerful truth about memory. You forget things over time, but if you review at specific intervals, you can lock information into long-term memory. This is called spaced repetition. You review new information after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week, then a month. Each time you successfully recall the information, you increase the time before the next review. Your brain learns that this information is important and worth keeping. There are apps that do this automatically, like Anki or Quizlet, but you can also do it manually with a simple notebook system. Strategy number 4, the teaching technique. Want to know if you really understand something? Try to teach it. After you learn a new grammar rule or vocabulary word, explain it out loud as if you're teaching a friend. Use your own words. Give examples. If you struggle to explain it, you don't really understand it yet. This forces the deepest level of active recall, and it reveals exactly what you need to study more. Let me show you a quick example. Let's say you just learned the word resilient. Passive learning, you read the definition, able to recover quickly from difficulties. You think, okay, got it. Active recall, you close the book, you ask yourself, what does resilient mean? You struggle to remember, then you say, it means someone who can bounce back from hard times. Like if someone loses their job but stays positive and finds a new one quickly, they're resilient. See the difference? In the second example, you're not just recognizing the word, you're retrieving it, processing it, making it yours. Now, active recall isn't just for vocabulary. You can use it for grammar and speaking too. Let's talk about grammar first. Most English learners study grammar rules passively. They read about present perfect tense, they see examples, they think they understand, but when it's time to use it, they freeze. Here's how to use active recall for grammar. After you learn a grammar rule, close your book and try to explain the rule in your own words. Then create 5 original sentences using that grammar structure. Don't look at examples, create your own. This forces your brain to truly understand how the rule works. For example, let's say you're learning about conditional sentences. After studying, close your book and say out loud, if I study hard, I will pass the test. If I had studied harder, I would have passed. If I were rich, I would travel the world. Creating these sentences from memory is active recall. It's building the neural pathways for automatic usage. Now, let's talk about the most important skill, speaking. Here's a powerful technique I call the fluency sprint. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Choose a simple topic, like my daily routine or my favorite food. Now speak about that topic for the full 2 minutes. Don't stop, don't think too much, just speak. You'll make mistakes, you'll struggle for words. That's perfect. That struggle is active recall in action. Your brain is searching for words, grammar, and structures you've learned. Do this every day with different topics. Record yourself. Listen back. Notice your mistakes. Then, and this is crucial, use active recall to fix those mistakes. Ask yourself, what's the correct way to say that? How should I have expressed that idea? Look up the answer, then practice saying it correctly 5 times. This turns your mistakes into learning opportunities through targeted active recall. Another powerful speaking technique, shadow speaking with active recall. Instead of just repeating what you hear, listen to a sentence, pause the audio, and try to repeat it from memory. Don't look at the transcript, retrieve it from your brain. This forces you to pay attention differently. You're not just copying sounds, you're encoding them into memory and retrieving them. So let's bring this all together. Here's your action plan for using active recall to accelerate your English fluency. Step 1, start today with one simple change. Pick any English content you're currently studying. After every paragraph, every video section, every lesson, pause and ask yourself, what did I just learn? Answer from memory, out loud if possible. This one change will transform your learning immediately. Step 2, create a flashcard system using spaced repetition. You can use an app or simple paper cards, but commit to reviewing actively, not passively. Always try to recall before checking the answer. Step 3, practice the fluency sprint every single day. 2 minutes, one topic. Just speak.
Record yourself if you can. This builds confidence and reveals exactly what you need to work on. Step 4, turn your mistakes into active recall exercises. Every time you make an error, write down the correct form. Then practice retrieving and using that correct form multiple times. Step 5, join a conversation partner or language exchange. Real conversations are the ultimate active recall exercise. You have to retrieve vocabulary and grammar in real time, under pressure. Nothing builds fluency faster. Now, let me address some common questions and concerns. But active recall takes more time than passive learning. Yes, it does, but it's far more efficient. Would you rather spend 10 hours passively reviewing and forget everything, or spend 3 hours actively recalling and remember it forever? Active recall is an investment. It feels harder at first because your brain is actually working, but the results are dramatically better. What if I can't remember anything when I try to recall? That's completely normal, especially at the beginning. Struggling to remember is part of the process. Don't get frustrated. Just check the answer,
Study it again, and try recalling it later. The struggle is literally building your brain. You're not failing, you're learning. Which tools should I use for active recall? The best tool is the one you'll actually use consistently. I personally recommend Anki for spaced repetition flashcards. It's free and extremely powerful. For speaking practice, use your phone's voice recorder. For writing practice, use a simple notebook. But honestly, you don't need fancy tools. You need consistency and the right mindset. Remember this, your brain is incredibly powerful. It's designed to learn and adapt, but it needs the right kind of practice. Active recall gives your brain exactly what it needs to build fluency. It forces retrieval. It strengthens memory pathways. It turns knowledge into automatic skill. You've probably spent months or even years learning English the passive way. Imagine what could happen if you spent the next 3 months using active recall every single day. You'd be amazed at how quickly your fluency improves, how naturally words come to you in conversation, how confident you feel speaking English. This isn't magic, it's science. It's how your brain actually learns language. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, commit to active recall. Every time you study English, force yourself to retrieve from memory instead of passively reviewing. Do the fluency sprint every day. Make flashcards and test yourself. Teach what you learn to an imaginary student. After 7 days, you'll feel the difference. Your recall will be faster, your confidence will be higher, and you'll finally understand what real English fluency feels like. The power to speak English fluently is already inside you. You just need to unlock it with the right method. Active recall is that method. Start using it today. Your future fluent self will thank you. If this video helped you understand how to truly learn English effectively, hit that like button and subscribe for more science-backed language learning strategies. Drop a comment below telling me what's one thing you're going to actively recall today. And remember, fluency isn't about how much you study, it's about how you study. See you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into advanced active recall techniques for mastering English grammar. Until then, keep practicing, keep recalling, and keep growing.